Black Israelites speak fake Hebrew? It's all good, y'all. Let's fix that. Let's let the nation get on one accord as it pertains to our ancient biblical language, y'all. Let's give all praise to the Most High as we start this. All praise to the Most High. Come in, hit that like button, share, subscribe. Do everything you got to do to get your peoples up in here, get your weepalizations up in here, y'all. All praise to the Most High. Lashawan Kodash is not real. You see it on the screen. Let's talk about it today without the evil eye, without the hate. There's just some things in the realm of existence that are objectively true and objectively false. So, without further ado, y'all, we're going to get the elder on here. And we're going to get this started. Y'all fall in, climb in. Let me share this on a couple of places. All right. I told y'all we're going to dedicate this Wednesday class to learning Hebrew. We got some good stuff, some powerful information we want to share as it pertains to the language, as it pertains to the LQ. So make sure y'all are locked and loaded with your pen and pads ready. With your pen and pads ready. Let me make sure I share this everywhere. All praise to the Most High. Appreciate y'all. Peace and blessings to the chat. Shalom to the chat. Shalom to the brothers in the chat. All praises. Let's see. Let's get this going on the good old book face. We're going to get this going on a good old book face. Peace and blessings, y'all. Peace and blessing. I see y'all falling in, climbing in. We ain't going to have a lot of smoke today because I don't think people want to deal with the language. But at the end of the day, that's fine. We are here to just build and really teach. You know, we're here to teach our people. Right? All praise to the Most High. So let me share this, make sure I share this. Let's make sure I share this. Make sure I share this, y'all. All praises, honor, and glory. All right, there we go.
Hey, there shalom.
Hey, peace and blessings. Let me go ahead and get your screen pulled up. There we go. All praises. Let's go. We got man. Sister Allie in the building. Tommy G episode. Which Tommy G episode? He dropped another one. Don't tell me it's embarrassing. Please don't tell me it's as embarrassing as the Captain Tazariak show. That's crazy. I'm gonna have to look at that. But what's going on, my dear beloved brother Jediah Malek in the building?
Man. What's up, brother? Man, that thumbnail is fire, bro.
Fire, huh? We ready.
So we got the vest on. We ready to go in.
We ready to go to war. All praise. But we don't want to go to war. It's spiritual warfare. It's spiritual warfare, y'all.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah. For sure, man.
But yeah, how you been? How you been, brother? How you been? How are things?
Thank God, man. We started one of the new Hebrew classes just this past Shabbat. Man, that's been a blessing. You know, we really doing well with that full class, and we're about to do a third class in about a month. We're going to do the 201 class. So they're going really well, and you know, a lot of great feedback, brother. A lot of great feedback. People want to know the truth. They want to know the language, and there's a lot of people who've been in the faith for like 10 years and more, and they're like, yo. We've been misinformed for all these years, and it caused us to waste time. And you know, so now they really anxious because they felt like they lost time being misinformed, and they want to know what's real. They want to know how to read, how to communicate, how to call on Yah, how to know His name, all these things, man. And then some people was like, man, they charged us money to learn this doctrine that was not real doctrine, wasn't real language. So a lot of people, they was like, man, they feel like they've been scammed. Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, ain't that
They
something?
should feel like that though. They
Hmm.
should feel like that. Now, if they still hold on to the language, then but if they understand, nah, this isn't facts, then they definitely should feel betrayed for sure.
Yeah, so that's
Mm,
been
clears out.
really interesting. Talking to some of the brothers and the sisters and getting their perspective on things. But it has them with a zeal, a great zeal.
Mhm,
You know what I'm saying? To want to
mhm.
get this. And so, I've been working on another another workbook for the people to help them get more advanced Hebrew concepts. So, try to break it
Nice,
down and make it easy for people. You know.
nice, nice, nice. We gotta do that. That's exactly what we gotta do
Hmm.
because our people they got a zeal. When Paul says they got a zeal, but not according to knowledge,
Right.
you take a
Right.
look at my One West brothers, they got zeal. They're out there bringing it out loud and wrong, but they're bringing it out. They have that zeal, but it's just not according to the correct knowledge.
That's
So it's
right.
our job to present this information. And if they look at it unbiasedly and study it, then Lord willing, they come to that conclusion. All
Hmm.
praises.
Hmm. Yeah. So that's been pretty interesting and pretty dope. Yeah. So man, yeah, keep doing the work, brother. I've been seeing I've been seeing you go to war this last week.
Man, I got so many battle wounds. I got so many battle wounds right now. It's
Uh-huh.
crazy, yo.
Uh-huh.
All praises.
It's really,
How could this?
I was going to say, it's really interesting, in terms of, how some people, it's hard for them to accept that the Most High will save some of the Gentiles if they keep the law, and if they, it's more than just keeping the law. They have to admit that we the people, and they got to be willing to serve the true Hebrews,
Mhm,
and then they can have their salvation. And so I figured, it's just part of what we do today. We could actually show that truth in the names of the books of the Bible itself. Because the books of the Bible, especially the New Testament, prophesy everything that you're standing on right now. So
mhm.
I'm going to take a look at that.
All
Hmm.
praises. All right, let's get into it. We didn't get into the Father's name yet. I'm still, what's I got caught up on that documentary and then I was doing some other stuff, but we're supposed to have a round table, y'all. I haven't checked that email in so long. We're trying to get brother Jediah on there, Dr. Michael Brown, and then we were trying to get one or two more brothers. So we do plan on doing that. If we can't get everybody on, then we're just gonna have Jediah Malek go into the divine name of the Father.
It would be good, to get some of these other scholars on,
Right.
have a consensus so people can hear all sides, and then they could
Mhm.
be able to determine what resonates and what makes sense based on the
Right.
information presented. So it's not like, okay, we're doing this because one person said so or this person, but we should be able to stand on the doctrine that we promote. When asked or questioned about it, like I think Peter said that, are ready to give an answer quickly. He says something like that. I think it's in Second Peter.
Yeah.
Uh, we
Be
should be
ready
able
to
to get
give an answer for everything and prove
for
all things.
Yeah. So when people are questioned and then they don't want to give a response, or their response is just ad hominem, then that's really suspect. Do you really stand on the truth? The truth invites questions. It invites a closer look. It invites investigation. If you want to investigate and you standing on truth, we should have nothing to fear.
Mhm.
If everything that I'm saying is right, then if people look closer, I shouldn't shy away from that. Look closer,
Right.
and then you're going to see more.
Yeah.
You know.
We
Hmm.
wanna be challenged.
Yeah.
We want to be challenged.
So that would be
Test
good in
every
terms of
spirit.
the name.
1 John 4:1, test every spirit.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah. So it invites investigation, and when you got elders or camps or congregations that don't want to discuss these things, they'll discuss it amongst their own inside their own bubble. But if you go outside that bubble, and they can't stand on it, then that should tell you something's not really right. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. I got this video. We're shared everywhere. We got it shared everywhere. So y'all, if y'all can see the visual, see the audio, I'm gonna share it on my Instagram too.
Okay.
All right. So let's get going. However you want to start it.
Right.
Let me make
And
sure.
all praises to the Most High Yah. So again, at the last video we did, I kind of started to touch on this towards the end, but we start running out of time. But I think it's appropriate now. What I want to do is I want to go back to this menorah because there's so much hidden in the menorah that a lot of our people maybe are not familiar with. So we're going to break this down, and then it's going to point to the Messiah. It's going to point to his relationship with Israel, and then it's going to point to his relationship also with the Gentiles that follow him. All of that is actually in the menorah itself. It's crazy.
Uh-oh. Here we go. Let's go.
All right. All right. All right. We're in Exodus 25, right? Exodus 25, 31. And thou shalt make a candlestick of pure gold, of beaten work shall the candlestick be made. His shaft and his branches, his bowls, his knops, and his flowers shall be of the same. And 6 branches shall come out of the sides of it, 3 branches of the candlestick on the one side, 3 branches out of the candlestick on the other side. So that's 6 candlesticks, and then the one in the center. 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and a flower on one branch. And 3 bowls made like the almonds in the other branch, with a knot and a flower. So in the 6 branches that come out of the candlestick. All right. So when we showed this before, we have these knops and these flowers. All right. And we did the math and we showed what the number of this added up to. So I'm going to do it really quickly here. 1, let me get this a little thinner. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. All right. Where's the other one? I'm missing it. I guess. Did I miss something? There should be 22 of these things.
No, the 22 at the top middle.
Oh, okay. I see it. Yeah. 22. Okay. All right. So we got 22.
Or no. You my bad. Right where you're
Oh, I see it right here. Yeah, that was
there you go.
Okay, yeah, I said I skipped something. All right, so we got 22, which is the Aleph and the Tau, right? So we got 22 Hebrew letters, right? 22 bowls on the menorah. So, all right, here's where it gets deep. All right. Now, each bowl consists of this. When we look back at the scripture, it says 3 bowls made like unto almonds, with a knot and the flower in one branch. So what that really looks like is this. You have this shape here, but it really consists of 3 parts. You have a knot. I should do it like this. All right. Let me get rid of this over here. All right. Now you have a knot. That's down here, that base part. Then you have an almond, which is of course right here. And then you have the flower on the top. All right. So now if we're looking at these and we counted 22 of these knops on the menorah, when we really consider how many parts are in these knops, how many pieces do we have on this menorah? Is my question clear? Do you understand what I'm saying?
Say it again.
All right. We got 22 knops, but each knop consists of three parts or three pieces.
Mm-hmm.
So if there's 22, but each of the 22 has three pieces, how many pieces would that be altogether? Which would basically be 22 times 3.
It would be 22 times 3?
Mm-hmm. Right. Each
66.
knot, it would be 66. So what is Yah showing us through the menorah? It froze. It froze. Give me a second. I've been writing on here and it froze up a little bit. Let me man, this is important. It froze up while I was writing.
Brother Landon in the building.
I'm gonna take this thing out and then come back in. But
okay,
this is showing us that
I can see on my end.
Thing is acting up. You see that 22 times?
Yeah.
Oh, you can see it?
I can see it, yeah.
Because my side over here is freezing.
Yeah, I can see it on my end. So that means they can see it on their end as well.
I'm moving the screen, but it's frozen on yours. Okay. All right. 6 under where it says 22 times 3. But as I'm looking on YouTube, it's not there.
Yeah, I can see it.
I got the 22 times. You can see it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Can y'all see the 66 that I wrote there, family? In the chat, let us know if you can see the 66.
Yeah. We can't see the 66.
Okay, yeah, it froze. Let me give me a second. And
okay.
I'm gonna come out and come
right
back in.
Start this.
Sometimes it does that.
Okay. Yeah, because I wanna know this. I need to know
this is science of the scripture.
Right, and you're kind of choppy. You're kind of choppy as well, or
I'm choppy. Yeah,
just a little bit.
Let me see something. I'm gonna try to come back in. Is it still choppy?
It sounds good right now.
All right. Yeah, my computer.
How about y'all in the chat? Funny. How's his audio in the chat, everybody?
Hey, I'm gonna restart my computer because it's acting funny, and this is important. This is too important to
Okay, let's do that. Let's do that. It's fine. I'll reboot real quick.
Okay, I'm gonna reboot. I'll be right back on.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, y'all. So let him reboot real quick because I need to see the breakdown with how the menorah goes into the Israelites, the Messiah, and also the Gentiles that cleave to the Israelites. There's so much esoteric teachings within the Torah as far as the ordinances go. And some people might say it's second temple knowledge, but really it's third temple knowledge. The second temple was basic. The Most High didn't give them basic in the sense of the Most High didn't give them that understanding, the deeper meanings of the ordinances in the temple. So when you get into that third temple knowledge, you get to see, what does the menorah represent? What does the Ark of the Covenant represent? What does the porch and the altar represent? What does the holies of holies and the cubits, the 60 cubits? What is 1/3 of 60? 20 cubits. 20 cubits is the holies of holies. There's a lot of temple knowledge. The curtain, what does the curtain represent? Why did the curtain split in half when the Messiah took his last breath and gave up the ghost? This is important, so I definitely want to hear the breakdown. I want to hear the breakdown. So, any questions before we get going on here? I'm gonna let him do this presentation, and then I want you guys to ask the hard questions. If you guys are Lashuan Kodash, ask the hard questions. If you're not Lashuan Kodash and you just want to know more about, the deeper meanings, the layers, the different layers of what he's presenting, the spirituality, the numerology behind it, make sure you guys don't forget your questions, write them down. I definitely want to hear y'all out. I want to hear the audience. But hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button, man. Oh, Friday, we have the big, not June 5th. June 5th, we have the big debate going on. It's not going to be formal, it will be informal. And we'll be dealing with, do believers have to keep the laws to get salvation? And are black Israelites, are black people Jews? It'll be with Professor Solberg. So make sure I got to put a flyer together for that. All right. This is, if you take a look at my screen, that is Professor Solberg. He is against I wouldn't say against, but he battles the Hebrew roots movement a lot. So he is against Torah keeping, and he's also against us having the possibility of being, well, I guess he says, when I talked to him, he said there could be a possibility. He just haven't done his research. Well, I already did the research, and I have some information that I'm going to be sharing by his peers, or maybe even his superiors, that I believe a large percentage of us are in fact Israelites. And then I'm also going to be citing some of his peers that believe that believers have to keep God's law, statutes, and commandments to receive salvation. So that will be June 5th on TGC. All praise to the Most High. So tune in for that. This Friday, we got something special coming for y'all. I can't announce it just yet. So, but this Sunday, I think that's what, May 31st, we might be going into the 12 tribes chart. How many of y'all in the chat subscribe to the 12 tribes chart? Let me know if y'all subscribe to the 12 tribes chart. We're going to be going into that possibly. It's another documentary that I might release this Sunday, maybe. We're going into the 12 tribes chart. We're going to be talking about, is it accurate? Is it emphatic and absolute? Oh my goodness. I got some proof, y'all. I have proof that REI, when he made the chart, that he was actually Negro only. But let's keep going. All right, we're back with my brother. Let me stop sharing. Boom.
Okay. We were talking about the menorah, and the menorah has 22 knobs on it. These are the things that Yah put within the sanctuary itself to tell us a lot of prophetic insight about who he come to save, about the language, about so much. It's in the menorah itself. So we counted the 22 knobs. Now each 22 bowls, each bowl has 3 pieces to it. So we got 1, which is the flour. We got 2, which is the almond, and 3, which is a knob. So these 3 pieces make up that one item. So if we add up these 22 knops times the 3 pieces on each of them, we get 66. So what is y'all showing us with this 66?
Somebody put in the chat that it's the canon, the 66 books in the canon.
Absolutely. So the Most High showed all of the books that's going to be in the canon in the Old and New Testament in the menorah itself. All praises to the Most High. So this is just how great of a designer and how prophetic his work was to show us from the beginning what was going to be in the end. So
So
what
what
does that
about the
mean?
Apocrypha? What does that
That's
do?
that's extra. So in the book of Second Ezra, it said there's going to be some books that you put together for everybody, and
Mm-hmm.
then there's going to be books that are for extra wisdom that is for the wise, and the wise will
Okay.
seek those books out.
Okay.
Mhm.
So let me
So
just go ahead. Go
mhm.
ahead.
So the Old and the New Testament, we see 66 books. So this is a problem for the Torah only Hebrews. For the Torah only Hebrews, why does he have 66 pieces here to these knobs in the menorah?
Mm-hmm. Let me address this one comment. Darkside
Mm-hmm.
088 says Esau's canon. Actually, the first church fathers to even put together the first council was at Hippo and Carthage. It's called the Council of Synod, and that was in North Africa. That was us
Mm,
putting the canon together.
mm,
Just to correct you, brother, and that was before the Ge'ez Bible.
mm. Yeah, it's interesting why they would say Esau's canon when we see the architecture of it inside of the menorah. Is that Esau's menorah? You see, it starts to. There's a canon that Yah has put together for everybody, which is the Old and the New Testament, and then you got the apocryphal or the hidden type books that's for those with wisdom. They will go and seek it out. Shalom. Shalom. So now with that, I'm going to take a screenshot of the names of the canons to show what Yah was going to do with the Gentiles and with the Hebrews. All right. So I'm screenshotting this so I can show all of the people the New Testament canon. And the New Testament canon is going to show the salvation plan that Yah had for the Gentiles.
Mm.
All right. This is perfect. Because right here we can see everything, and I should be able to write everything I need to on here. You know what Matit Yahoo means, or Matthew?
I thought they call it Methiyahu.
Matit Yahoo, or yeah, Matit Yahoo. Or I heard people say it usually like that or somewhere around it. That usually means gift of Yah. Okay. Mark means a defense. Luke means light, a shining light. John means the grace of Yah. Yakanan. Acts is what it says. Acts or works. Romans could be exactly as it is Romans, or it could mean exalted. Corinthians. Gosh, what was Corinthians? Let's look it up. All right. We're in Corinthians 1 and 2. To the church which is in Corinth, satiated. You see that right here? That's the word for Corinth. Corinthos, satiated. or full, satisfied. Satiated. Galatians means strangers. Ephesians, I think, is permission. Let me look that up. We're going to click on Ephesus. Permitted. Ephesus.
Yeah, they gave you a fake name, brother. I said ISUPK give me the name Shema Shwan. Said it means Samson.
Your name, brother, is this. Shem Shon. Shemshon. That's how you say Samson in Hebrew. And it comes from the word Shemesh. Oops. Shemesh. And Shemesh means sunlight. Shemesh is sun. Shemshon means sunlight. All right. So
Appreciate
to spell your name in Paleo Hebrew, it would be like this: Sheen, Mem, Sheen, Wow, and Noon. Okay. Or in Biblical Hebrew, Sheen, Mem, Sheen, Wow, and Noon Sophie. Shemshon, sunlight.
So before we now everybody's gonna ask what their name means and how to say it properly.
Right, they
but
should be asking.
let's get through this first, because this happens every time. The brothers kind of go into something and you hecklers in the chat. No, I'm joking. We'll allocate some time after this so you guys can ask questions and stuff.
Okay. Colossians, giant. Thessalonians is a false victory.
You put permitted by Ephesians and Philippians.
Oh, sorry. Philippians, Philip, lover of horses. Appreciate that.
Don't worry, y'all in the chat. We're gonna get y'all's names right. Your camp leader gave you a a slave name. We're gonna try to get you. We're gonna give you God's Hebrew name.
Mm-hmm. False victory. Timothy. Let's get Timothy.
Raphael. The reason is because, hold on 1 second. Let me see.
For layman.
I had got a phone call real quick. But Raphael, the reason why there's so much confusion is just pride. People don't want to come out and say, all right, we were incorrect on that. Now let's get the truth is out here. The truth is not hidden in the world. So all we gotta do is say I was wrong on that. This is the truth. Here's the facts. This is some things are objectively true, like I said, and it's just a level of pride. People don't want to come out and say it, or will still have something to do with pride. People want to be the top man on the planet, the most mysterious, esoteric spiritual, deified man on the planet. And so that's the problem.
Right. And no man got salvation. So no matter what any of us knows, we still don't know nothing. and and what Paul says is we all see through a glass darkly until that which is whole appears. That's in 1 Corinthians 13. We all have a piece of it. But if somebody of certain camps, elders, or congregations say, well, we have it all already, well, then you know that they're not really standing on what the word says. We all are a part of this body. But if some people are saying we don't need certain body parts, then that whole body is actually gonna get sick, or it's not gonna be as strong as it needs to be. It's not gonna be able to perform how Yah created it to perform. So we need to all recognize the strengths in the different parts of the body of Messiah. Some people are hands, some people are foot, some people's the knee, some people's the elbow, some people's the eye, the nose, the mouth, so forth. So we need to appreciate and have respect for each other's talents and gifts in this walk, because when we all put it together, it's the body of Messiah. And that's the right way we're supposed to look at this as a nation.
That's right.
All right. So these are the names of the New Testament books. All right. So if we look at this, let's start breaking it down. The first one is Matthew, the gift of Yah. The gift of Yah is a defense. And a light. That shines Yah's grace. His acts have satiated the Romans. What does satiated mean? To fill, right?
Mm-hmm.
So when we got First Corinthians, and Corinthians mean to satiate, which means to satisfy. And then we have a First Corinthians and then a Second Corinthians. You know what that means in Hebrew thought? That means, go ahead.
Go ahead.
That means it's a double portion.
I was about to say that.
So there's a double portion of fulfillment that he's actually going to give to the Romans, meaning giving them a chance to receive salvation, because before they had no salvation. So we got a double portion to the Romans. That means to the Hebrews that are scattered in Rome, and then the other portion for the bloodline Romans. Does that make sense? You there, Ak?
You said what?
He's going to give a double portion to satisfy the Romans. So that double portion is actually the Israelites that are scattered in Rome. And then the other portion is the bloodline descendants of Rome.
Got you, because it's a mixed church.
Yeah. It's twice showing one is for the bloodline Hebrews that are in Rome, and the other is for the actual bloodline Romans who will serve the Most High. That's in the name. Like, if a person denies this, then they're denying the New Testament. This is the name of the book, and this is what it means.
Well, a couple camp leaders already said that they're done with a large portion of the New Testament.
Are you
but
serious?
That's you better be done, because they would rather be done with it than to accept what it says.
Wow, brother. Yeah. See, That's the falling away that the Most High talked about. And when we see
Yeah.
stuff like that, that's the people we need to get away from, because they're denying the Messiah. And that's like the worst of all. It's been better for them to have never known Yah than to start denying the book. Because I've seen that. I've seen that happen to those who start denying certain parts of scripture. Then they wind up ultimately denying the whole scripture, because it's all interlocked together. So if all of the word is connected and you deny one part, then eventually you're going to deny the other parts that's connected to it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's
Yeah, like if you
so,
deny Paul, then you have to deny Second Peter, and
right.
then you have to deny Luke and Mark, because Luke and Mark was rolling with Paul.
That's
So
right.
then you'll just have Matthew, John, Revelation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, they question the author of Hebrews, because
Mm-hmm.
they say there's no author to it. So then it's literally just maybe Jude. So they get Revelation, Jude, they get First John, Second John, Third John, and then they get Matthew, and that's crazy.
See that slippery slope. And this is the end of Second Peter's, right? Let's see what he talks about Peter. I mean, Paul. We're in Second Peter's.
Chapter
Okay,
3, yeah.
chapter 3 and 15. And account that the long suffering of our Lord is salvation, even as our beloved brother Paul, according to the wisdom given unto him, have written unto you. Now, if he's talking, if Peter is writing to the Israelites, which I gotta look and see,
In
because he's
First Peter 1:1, he is, yeah.
he is. So he's saying he is written unto you. Then he's saying that Paul wrote to the Hebrews. So Hebrews might be his book if, in fact, he's talking to Hebrews in this passage. And that I got to look up and see. But that's just a side note.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, hit that like button, y'all. Hit that like button, because I know y'all got some questions about your names, and
Oh, yeah.
you guys want to name your kids. And I know a lot of brothers are talking to me how they regret they done named their kids these fake Hebrew and named their
Right.
wives fake Hebrew. Elder in the chat said he got his name legally changed to some fake Hebrew. And
Wow.
so we want to definitely get to y'all in the chat. Let's let the brother keep going, and so we can open it up for questions, comments, and smoke.
Mm. So let's look at this. The gift of Yah is a defense in the light that shines Yah's grace. His acts have satiated the Romans. All right, so now we're here. Satiated is mentioned twice, so that's a double portion. The Romans, the strangers. See?
Mm. Yeah, that's
He
crazy.
has, Yah has permitted. Yah has permitted. Permitted is Ephesians. Yah has permitted. Ain't that deep? The
But
lovers.
when you string it all together,
This is how we need to think. What I'm trying to share with our people here is how to think Hebraically. That's what we're doing by breaking this down. This is giving us Hebraic thought, and this teaches us how to think beyond what the church has taught us to think. This has us looking at the whole and then dissecting the whole into pieces, and then it should testify to deeper things that help us grow in our faith, in our walk, and in keeping the law, statutes, and commandments.
mhm.
Right?
Especially in light of God doing everything with a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
If it's lining up like that, then how is that on accident?
Right. The lovers of horses with a huge false victory. Thessalonians means a false victory. So the Gentiles thought they beat the Messiah, and the Gentiles thought they beat Israel. So if you see Thessalonians is mentioned twice, again, that's a double portion. So they had a fake victory over the Messiah, and then they had a fake victory over us because they destroyed Jerusalem.
Mm-hmm.
All right. But the lovers of horses with a huge fake victory will honor God. Will honor God, that's Timothy, and kiss, that's Philemon, and nurse the Hebrews. Meaning they're going to have to make up for how they've oppressed and afflicted us.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Jacob, that's James. His real name is Jacob, of course. They will have to kiss and nurse the Hebrews, Jacob. Or the Hebrews and the rock of Jacob. Because Peter is there. So let me put the rock of Jacob. The rock of Jacob. And then we got John, which is threefold grace of Yah. John, 1 John, 2 John, 3 John, a triple portion of Yah's grace. But then you got the Gospel of John. It's like he's showing grace, grace, grace. To prove that, let's go to the book of John. We're going to go to John chapter 1. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with Elohim, and the Word was Elohim. The same was in the beginning with him. All right. All things were made by him, and without him was not anything made that was made. In him was life, and the life was the light of men, and that light shineth in the darkness. So we see that light is talking about, that's Luke, that's his name. And the darkness comprehended it not. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. The same came for a witness of the light, to bear witness of the light, that all men through him might believe. All right, let's go down a little bit further. He came to his own, and his own received him not. But as many as received him, to them gave he power to become the sons of Elohim, even to them that believe on his name, which were born not of blood, nor of the will of the flesh, nor of the will of man, but of God. And the Word was made flesh and dwelt among us, and we beheld his glory, the glory as of the only begotten of the Father, full of grace. That's John, Yochanan. And truth. John bare witness of him, and cried, saying, This was he of whom I spoke. He that cometh after me is preferred before me, for he was before me. And of his fullness means to be satiated. Okay. Have we received grace for grace? For the law was given by Moses, but grace. So how many times was grace mentioned here in this first chapter? 4 times. Just like it's mentioned 4 times here. John 1, 1 John 2, 2 John 3, 3 John 4. 4 times grace. Just like here, this is how we say we're going to use the scripture to prove the language. So we got here in the first chapter of John, and of his fullness have we all received grace for grace. All right. I can't highlight it. The other one I'm trying to highlight. Yeah, there we go. Grace for grace. All right. And grace right here. That's grace 3 times. And then the law was given by Moses, but grace. and truth came by Yehoshua Mashiach. See how that all lines up and it all connects? When we read the scripture, it's going to testify to itself. Truth invites investigation. So his act, the gift of Yah is a defense. The gift of Yah is a defense in a light that shines Yah's grace. His acts have satiated or satisfied the Romans, the strangers Yah has permitted, or Yah has permitted the strangers, the lovers of horses with colossal or huge fake victories, but they will honor God and kiss and nurse the Hebrews, the rock of Jacob. And then we got Jude and Revelation. They will kiss and nurse the Hebrews, the rock of Jacob, when Judah is revealed.
Wow. When Judah.
Hallelujah.
That's why I said that happened already.
When Judah is revealed. So what is this saying? This is an end time prophecy because our history and identity was stripped from us and removed from us. And true Judah is being revealed in the last days, like right now. So this is all praises to the Most High. So all of that is here in the names of the book of the Bible.
Right. Damn. And I hope my brothers are watching this.
Okay. And this is a reflection of what? The menorah.
It is.
Because these are the New Testament books. But when we look at the Old Testament books, we see 66 books. And last time we broke down the Old Testament books, right? Do you remember that?
Yeah.
We did the Old Testament books last time, and we're doing the New Testament books this time. So you see a prophecy that's consistent between the Old and the New Testaments, actually equaling to 66. That 66 is hidden in the menorah, and the menorah testifies that he's going to save Israel first, but then he's also going to receive the repentant Gentiles. It says he will permit the Gentiles, the Romans, the strangers, Yah has permitted them. So for them to deny that means you have to deny all the books of the Bible.
Dang. Drop a bomb. I need my soundboard back. You know, it's unfortunate because one of my, used to be a best friend of mine, but I don't got no hate or no evil eye towards the brother. But he came out and he said that the book of Acts is ahistorical, like a Harry Potter fictional book.
Really? This is a Hebrew who said it.
Yeah. Matter of fact, Gorilla Hebrew said it. Yeah. He said that on his last live stream. And I understand why he's saying it, because he's saying that, there's some, according to him, there's some historical inaccuracies. So he says it's ahistorical, and it's basically like a Harry Potter book. So the book of Luke and also Acts. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy, because
that's a lot to throw away too.
If you throw that away, like I said, you're going to have to throw away all of them. You're going to have to throw away Messiah because he speaks in Acts. Then all the 12 apostles because they're in Acts. And then Agrippa and all the other kings that were historical figures of that time in Acts. You have to throw that all away.
Well, I remember Dr. James White saying something, and this is just true about every ancient text. Mm-hmm. If we're going to say, James White says there could be historical inaccuracies and there is rather historical inaccuracies in all ancient texts. But we don't need to throw away all ancient texts because of that, because people are telling the story differently. People have different viewpoints of the story. Then there's primary sources telling the story, and there's people coming afterwards telling the story. So if we take that approach, then there's going to be an issue with every ancient text.
But the fail safe for us is, are these books prophetic or not? So if someone wants to say a book of the Bible is inaccurate, well, does it have prophecy that occurred in it that has been fulfilled, or that's even taking place now in the last days? And that's how we can test what is real and what is not real.
Does it have any truths in it?
Hmm. Was there a man named Paul that walked? Because there's many books that testify about Paul. You know what I'm saying? So we got the Ethiopian text that has a whole different canon of Acts of the apostles that testifies to the book of Acts. Like, we published a book called The Lost Acts of the Apostles, which comes from the Ethiopian scrolls, and they show much more detail about where each of the apostles went to, where the apostles were martyred. All of that information testifies to the book of Acts. So we have other sources that we can use as a reference, other biblical references that we can use, and extra biblical sources to testify
Like
about
when we were getting expelled from Rome by the Emperor Claudius,
it.
that's actually documented in history and is documented in the book of Acts as well.
Mm,
How will we know what we were doing?
mm,
How will we know what Peter and them were doing?
mm.
Because Peter just writes a letter. It doesn't talk about what he was doing, like his action. Acts is a descriptive text.
Yeah.
But anyway, all
Do you
praise to the
know,
Lord.
all praises to the Most High? You know that Peter has just as many writings, if not more writings, than Paul does? That's how many hidden letters, epistles that Peter has. And a lot of them are written under the name of his scribe, which was, what's his scribe's name? Uh, Starts with a C. Well, I can't think. Clement. Hey, what's up, brother? Judah the Shooter. That's my brother right there.
Oh yeah,
Mm.
you're right. You're right. His disciple is Clement of Rome.
Clement.
Don't
Right.
Not Clement of Alexandria. Clement of Rome, y'all.
So when you read certain of Clement's writings, they're actually Paul's writings. And Clement is right. He's the scribe.
You
So
mean
he's writing
Peter?
down, yeah, Peter. Thank you. He's writing down Peter's writings, and he has a bunch of them, and they're very powerful writings and some really deep stuff. So, if we just stop at the 66, but we don't look for more historical reference, then we do ourselves sometimes a disservice. Because if we look at into some of these other writings that are spirit filled, then it will testify of the 66. And then that'll prevent us from saying things like, okay, well, this book is not inspired of the 66, because the 66 is going to testify about whatever else is inspired by Yah, and vice versa.
That's right. All praise. We got brother Hassad in the building.
Hey,
Brother
shalom,
Hassad
brother.
in the building. He says that the brother has to take that position if you say only Israelites can be saved.
Mm.
Somebody says he got rid of Paul's writings, 2 Peter, Mark, and Acts, and Luke. John 5 and 39, one of my favorites. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they which testify of me.
Right.
Here's a good question for you. I'm definitely getting an Ethiopian text. I've talked about getting. What do you feel about the Ge'ez Bible?
Let me show you what we've done. I'm gonna re-release it, and I'm probably gonna drop the price for it. Some people were offended because of the cover. Where is it at? Okay, shop. This is our website, Hebrew Israelite Scriptures. But what I was trying to show the people with the cover was the letter Tau. Some Israelites don't know that Tau means cross. This is it, the lost acts of the holy apostles. This is the Ethiopian text that we have, and we restored all of the names to it.
Mm.
The cross is the letter tau in Hebrew, the last letter. And if you look on there, there's 13 crowns on this cross, one for each of the 12 apostles, and then the last apostle, which is Paul. That's the symbolism of this cover here. And this has some of the dopest. I mean, like, I'll show you, like, it even tells what tribes. It even tells us what tribes the each of the apostles come from, which was just mind blowing to me when I read it. Are you interested in that?
Yeah, I know a little bit about well, it's not called the Ge'ez, but the Ethiopic Ge'ez is the language. It's about 500 AD ish, and I think it contains Enoch in there too.
That's a separate canon. Like that canon has 83 books, I think.
The
But
Ethiopian canon.
yeah, but this is a separate writing from that one. Uh let me see. Let me pull up the genealogies of the 12 apostles. Okay. All right. This one is a little bit hard. It might be small for people to see. Let me try to see if I can change the font setting. Oh, liquid mode won't work on this one. This is from the apostles and Dionysius. All right, here followeth the work which Father or Abba Dionysius, bishop of the country of the East, translated concerning the 12 apostles who were of the 12 tribes of Israel. The father, Simon, Shimon, who was surnamed Kepha the Rock, and of Andrew or Andre, his brother, was of the house of Reuben, and his mother's mother was of the house of Simeon. And Shimon, Kepha's mother, loved him greatly, and she named him Simeon after the name of her father's family. And because Andre's father loved him greatly, he counted him among the family of his father, Reuben. Zabdi was of the house of Levi, and he took to wife a woman of the house of Judah, who bore to him two sons called James and John. Now, because the father of James loved him greatly, he counted him among the family of his father Levi. And similarly, because the mother of John loved him greatly, she counted him among the family of her father Judah. And for this reason, she brought him forth to Yehoshua, for she herself was of the house of Judah. And Messiah also was of the house of Judah according to the flesh. And they were surnamed the sons of thunder, for they were both of the priestly house and of the royal house. So I think it's in the book of Mark, right? Yeah, Mark chapter 3.
We don't use we don't use that name on this channel.
Which one?
Sons of Thunder. It's like I'm joking. I'm joking. That's that was a joke. That was a joke. That was a joke. Shout out to my Sons of Thunder brothers.
Wow.
Go ahead. My bad.
Yeah. Scripture says it talks about the Messiah calling James and John the sons of thunder, but it never explains why. But here it tells us the reason why was because they were both from the tribe of Levi and Judah. So that's
okay.
why. Mm-hmm.
So don't we see? So it doesn't tell them why, but I thought in the book of Acts, it goes a little more into the sons of thunder. But either way, though, that's interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But why is it associating? Why is it associating Levi and Judah with thunder?
I guess like lightning and thunder. So they come from heaven, and they're sometimes a sign of judgment. So they, I guess, whichever whichever tribe would, if maybe Levi represents lightning and Judah thunder, or vice versa. That's why they was called that.
Mhm.
And it says Philip was of the house of Zebulun, and Bartholomew was of the house of Naphtali. Now his name was formerly John. Bartholomew's name was also John, but our Adonai changed his name because of John, the son of Zebedee, his beloved. So you see that most of the apostles had the same name. There was two Judas, right? There were two Simons, Simon Peter and Simon the Zealot. You had Judas Iscariot, and then you had Jude. You have, let's see, I'm going to show you the rest of them. And that means something. The names of the apostles being mentioned twice means that Yah was giving a double portion of something at the appearance of the Messiah. So these are like really important things that we understand when we read with a Hebraic mind.
Mhm. Yeah.
And
Get out of that westernized mind, that westernized Greek. It's crazy because my one West Israelite brothers, they hate Gentiles so much, but they look through the same lens as a Gentile. They don't even have Hebraic concept.
None. We want to help them overcome that because, yes, that's very true. Because the way that they read the Bible is very westernized.
Mhm.
Not to condemn them, but us as
That's how
Hebrews,
we were conditioned. We were conditioned that way.
but when we've been in this truth after a certain amount of years, we should say, okay, I need to get that Hebraic mindset now. I need to read like a Hebrew does, because that's why the scripture says Hebrew has more force to it. So when we read the scriptures with that Hebraic mind, we should have more force and authority far beyond anybody else. And we already do naturally, but it should be far greater. And these are the things that help us become one as a nation, because that's what helps to root out false doctrine or misunderstandings in the scripture when we're able to elevate, the way we read and discern the word, you know.
Mhm.
So Matthew here says was of the house of Issachar, and Thomas was of the house of Asher, and James, the son of Alphaeus, was of the house of Gad. Thaddeus was of the house of Joseph, and Simon, the son of Cleopas, who is the same Nathanael, was of the house of Benjamin. And Judah
Okay.
Iscariot was of the house of Dan. So this is how we know where each of the apostles come from. So Judas Iscariot was of the house of Dan. Now Dan sold his brother Joseph for 20 pieces of silver, and in like manner Judas sold our Lord, our Adonai, for 30 pieces of silver. So this is all from the Ethiopic text, and there's so much more insight. That's just on the genealogy of the 12 apostles.
Okay, so then somebody will ask you a question. I'm such a good journalist, right? I gotta give you some pushback. So
Right.
somebody's gonna say, if these were Northern Kingdom, if some of the disciples were Northern Kingdom, then why would the Messiah tell them not to even go to the Northern Kingdom in Matthew chapter 10 when he says don't go to Samaria?
Because they were exiled. The Most High kicked them out, and his first obligation was to Judah and Levi and Benjamin, because they all won, and that's where the temple was. But to compensate for that, Messiah lived and taught in Galilee, and Galilee was that city of Issachar and Zebulun, that was a trade and port city where a lot of exiled northern kingdomers lived. So a lot of people may not understand that. Galilee had a lot of the 10 tribes. That was a 10 tribes territory and a port city. So a lot of the Hebrews that were scattered from the 10 tribes came back to live in Galilee. And that's where the Messiah chose to live so that his message could spread out from the ports. So that was his way of the gospel and his mighty acts that he did being spread around the world before he died. They didn't have social media, they didn't have cell phones. So if you live by the port and you have messengers and witnesses and actual people who were healed and seen miracles, now when they're at that port city and they're starting to jump on a ship and they're going to Tarshish or they're going to Europe or they're going to faraway lands, now the word of the Messiah is spreading all throughout the world. That happened in Galilee.
So then I would say, where are they getting that? How can we trust that they are correct on what tribe the disciples are from if we don't have, do we have a second witness, 2 or 3 witnesses on the tribes that the disciples come from?
Well, I look at Dionysius, and let's type his name in here. Dionysius. Howbeit certain men clave unto him, this is unto Paul, and believe, among the which was Dionysius the Areopagite, and a woman named Damaris, and others with them. So he used to rock with Paul. So those are the witnesses. And Paul was confirmed by the Messiah. And Paul was confirmed by Peter in 2 Peter. So this is how we get the witnesses that testify. And then we get a picture about who some of these people are. Even Damaris, she has a story. You know.
Can we go back to the Ethiopian
for sure
Bible? I just want to look at it real quick. It says Zebedee. So it's saying Zebedee is Levi
and Judah.
Okay, and then what does it say about Matthew?
Matthew was Issachar.
So doesn't the New Testament say Matthew is Levi?
Not that I know of.
Let me see. I could be wrong. Let me see. Or is that true? It says, yes, it does say that he's aware. And Mark 2 and 14.
Oh, it does?
Yeah.
Mark 2 and 14. Let's get it.
Mark 2 and 14. Let's just fact check this.
Levi. Oh, well.
Yeah, that's why I saw Levi.
Well, I would have to go with what Mark says on this one.
But I do want to look at that, where they're getting their tribal allotments from for the disciples. I want to look at that. I know it's an ancient text, and I don't want to just reject any ancient text we're supposed to study them. Okay, so where are we at? Somebody said, why'd I put you in timeout? I put you in timeout, Lionheart, because you're always on here heckling. That's why.
Why don't we give Lion? He comes here a lot, and he's always like, why don't he just join the chat, brother? Why don't you just hop on, click the link, and come on and talk?
Yeah, if you got an issue, Lionheart, listen, we can have any conversation. Matter of fact, you can put the brother on the hot seat. How about that?
Yeah, put me on the hot seat, brother.
If you feel like we're gonna put you on the hot seat and ask you questions that you can't answer, you come on here and you ask a Lamb's Heart. Or we're gonna change your name to Lamb's Heart. Okay, so we're approaching. We're gonna stay around for 15 more minutes because I don't want to take all your guys' time. But if we start flowing in the spirit, then we're gonna keep going. But at this point, I'll open it up for questions, comments, and smoke in the chat, or you can click the link. I'm gonna put the link in the chat as well.
Let's get it. But ain't that something about the design of the menorah testifying to the 60
Yeah, no, yeah,
man?
no, that was heat. That was heat. That was heat. This is what you call when you figure out the deeper things of the language. This is what you call faith boosters. And I
Mm,
sure do need a faith booster. Oh,
mm.
everybody was asking about their names and stuff. You guys can ask that too as well.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
he says, can he talk about the name Kahan?
Kahan, Kahan comes from the Hebrew word, or let's see, biblical Hebrew. Kahan means to, this is a root word that means to like officiate. Officiate like holy things. But a lot of times, what I think Lashawan Quadash did was it was a bad rendering of the name or the word Kohen, which is priest. Kahan is like past tense for the act of officiating as a priest. So if we say priest is actually Kohen, what happens in Hebrew to make something present tense is these ah vowels will turn to a oa sound. So the root kahan will become kohen, and that lets us know it's a present tense word or a person who does the act of officiating holy things, which is a priest. So I think a lot of times these are Lashawan or LQ ways of saying kohen. I don't think they're actually usually referring to the root of the word kohen. I think they'd be trying to say priest, but they do it
Yeah,
incorrectly.
right, right. That's in the One West Israelite group. They say Kahan, and that means priest.
Mm-hmm. Okay. What else
Yes.
we got?
All right, now we got some good stuff. Uh-oh, here we go. Um, here go one. Is it Yeho or Yah?
It is Yah. I know that sometimes you see it transliterated as Yehovah. I'll ask y'all a question first. Does the name of Yah change or does it remain the same? In the chat, does Yah's name change or does it remain the same?
It remains the same.
Let me see what y'all say. Put same or put change. All right. Could you put some of the answers on the screen for us? I want to see
Uh,
what they're saying.
Never changes.
Okay.
Remains the same, 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 same.
Everybody's saying same, right?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's go to the Hebrew scriptures. All right. So I'm going to turn to, let's say, I'm going to go to Psalms. I'm going to go to the book of Psalms. I'm going to go to Psalms 144. All right. Here it says La Dawid Baruch Yehoah, and it has Yehoah with a maybe YE sound, right? Baruch Yehoah. But if we go down to the same psalm, we're going to go down to the last verse. And I want y'all to write this down. We're in Psalm 144 and 15. If we look at Yehoah here, you see it says Yahweh. You see that ah vowel under the yod, Yahweh. And we know also that in Psalm 68, in 4 it says Sheru la Elohim, sing unto Elohim, Zamru Shemo, sing praises to his name, Solu Larakev, Ba'ar Ba'ot, Yah. Sing unto God, sing praises to his name, extol him that rideth upon the heavens by his name, Yah, which they translate as Jah, but we see here his name is Yah, so we know Yah is his name. And those who did the vowel points even show us, like I showed y'all in 144, even they showed that his name is Yahweh, and you know they did have the rendering of it. So we're going by what's rendered here, Yahweh. All right, and that lines up with scripture. So hope that answered your question. What else we got?
Another one is, let's see. Oh, can you go into Deuteronomy 22 to show if it's about pants or not?
Okay, Deuteronomy 22 and 5. Let's see. Deuteronomy 22 and 5. The woman shall, not wear which pertaineth unto a man, neither shall a man put on a woman's garment, for all that do so are abomination unto Jehovah thy Elohim, unto the Lord thy God. Let me move that out the way. Okay, lo yehie kali gaber. There shall not be the kali usually means like vessels or vestments of a gaber, which is a man or a warrior, al isha, upon a woman, lo yilbash gaber, smolat isha. Neither shall a man dress. Lavash means to dress yourself or clothe yourself. Neither shall a man dress himself with simlat or garments or clothing of a woman. Ki toeva, for this is an abomination of Yehovah Eloheka, your God, Kol Ose Ele, all those who do such acts or such works. So what was the question? Show how it isn't about pants. Well, here's my thing. If I was gonna, hey, you know apple bottoms, brother.
Yeah, I do. I do.
Right.
What the fur? What the fur?
if a man who says there's no type of pants for women, if he wore apple bottoms, then he wouldn't be sinning in, right? He could wear apple bottoms since there's no pants for women. If he put on a pair of apple bottoms, he would be straight, right?
Well, these niggas, these YNs now, they're all wearing NBA young boys wearing jeggings. Little babies wearing jeggings. Little Dirk wears jeggings.
So we see that there is, because otherwise, if a man start wearing, the spandex pants, then there's nothing wrong with that. But we know there's something wrong with that because that's for women. The thing is modesty, with that. So there's certain pants that are made for women, and there's certain pants that's made for men. The thing is modesty and covering yourself as a woman to make sure that even if you're wearing pants, maybe you should have something that goes over your hips or your waist or something like that, so you're not showing off your figure in a bad way. Because if a woman was riding a horse, can a woman ride a horse wearing a dress? That might be difficult. If a woman is at the gym trying to exercise, not that they should be wearing these leggings that some of them do wear, but it's like for a woman to do certain things, even for her health and wellness, there should be certain types of pants that is made for that. There should be certain types of pants for a woman if she's gonna ride a horse or ride a camel. That's my take on it. That's how I see it.
All right.
Mhm.
Can I get some understanding? Wait, my bad. Can learning modern Hebrew help to learn biblical Hebrew or vice versa?
Biblical Hebrew is what I focus on. Modern Hebrew, I don't know about. I know about biblical Hebrew. There's modern Hebrew that has a lot of Germanic words, certain English words to it. Um, and that's what they primarily speak in Israel. And there's some root of it in some, Hebraic phrases and terms. But the Hebrew I stick to is Old Testament Hebrew. That's my vocabulary base. So all the words Kol Hamilim She Ani Dabir Ekwak Min Ha Tanakh. All the words that I speak, I get from the Tanakh. Wagam HaTorah. Ze Kol Hamilot She Eshtamesh. Ka'ashia Ani Midabir. That's where I get all the words that I use when I'm speaking. All the words that I speak is from the Tanakh and from the Torah, the Old Testament. So that's my vocabulary range. Whatever's in there, that's what I try to learn. And anything outside of that, I'm not an expert on.
Okay.
Mhm.
It says, can I get some understanding of the use of Shiva or Shua and how it's used?
Yeah, so Shawah is two dots like that. That is under like a Hebrew word, a Hebrew letter rather. So if I have a aleph or a bait, and I have that under a letter, when I have that under a letter, that's called a shawah. That usually means to pronounce the sound of the letter itself without the use of a vowel. So we talked about what a vowel is before. A vowel makes your throat vibrate. So if I'm going to pronounce the letter bait, which is a B sound, I'm going to go instead of ba or but be. I'm going to go b. So when the shawah is under a bait, that's usually saying go whatever you're getting ready to say. If a shawah is under a sheen, like I have here, I got this sheen. Oh, I just realized some of the stuff I was writing.
It was covered up. Oh, my bad.
Yeah, it's okay. Uh, shawah is these two dots under there. I have the letter sheen right there, and that's a shawah. Shawah tells me to pronounce just the sound of the letter itself without a vowel. So if I have the word shama, which means hear, and it's written like this in Hebrew, shama, that means heard. But if I have the same word, shema, and then I have a shawah under it, it goes from shama to shema. See the difference here between these two? Shama versus shema. So if I say shema, that's telling somebody, pay attention, listen. That's commanding somebody and telling something what to do. Listen, hear. But if I say shama, that means he heard it. That's the difference. So a shawah tells us just to pronounce the sound of the consonant without any vowel attached to it. That's usually how it's used. Hope that answers your question.
And somebody says Mark 2:14 only calls Matthew by the name Levi, but it doesn't say the tribe, his tribe. That's his tribe.
Oh, got you. Okay.
Something to look
That
into.
makes sense. Okay. Yeah,
Um,
Sons of Thunder, that would make sense that he's Judah and Levi. But when I saw that, I said, I'm not going to go away from the 66 because that's the foundation. But that makes sense.
mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay. I just seen something.
Oh, and we talked about twos, how each of the apostles basically had the same name. When Judas fell away, who replaced Judas? They cast lots. You remember?
Say that. My bad. I had muted.
Mm-hmm. When Judas
Got
fell
replaced.
away and they had to replace Judas with another apostle,
Uh-huh.
who did they get to replace him?
Matthias.
There you go, which is the same thing as Matityahu. So you see
Matthew.
another apostle with two names. So each of the apostles, there's basically 12 apostles with 6 sets of the same name. But he gave them certain different I don't know,
Surnames.
surname nicknames to distinguish them, but their official names was 6 of them had the same name. And that's
Mhm.
showing that God's going to give a double portion of whatever that name meant.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Can the name Andre be transliterated into Hebrew or just go off the meaning?
Andre is Hebrew. The English is Andrew. So Andre is Hebrew or Aramaic. I think it's a little more Aramaic. That's how it's said, Andre. But when you say it in English, it's Andrew.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I seen a good one. Let me get it. Let me go down. Okay, here we go. So this is a brother in your class. Question, Moray.
Hey,
My name is Justin. I'm in your class group 2.
hey,
My
shalom.
name means just, fair, or righteous. What is the Hebrew name that carries the same meaning?
That's a great question. Yashar. Yashar means upright. Sadiq means like righteous. If we look at all of the Hebrew alphabet letters, I'm going to write them really quickly. Aleph, Beit, Gimel, Dalet, Hey, Wow, Zion, Ket, Tet, Yod, Kaf, Lamed, Mem, Noon, Samek, Ayin, Pei, Zadeh, Quoth, Resh, Sheen, and Tau. All of these have numeric values. So the first Aleph through Yod is 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This now goes to 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90. So we got Zadik. Zadik right here means righteous, but it starts with the letter Zadeh, which has a numerical value of 90, which is what it means to be straight. If you look at a 90-degree angle, it goes straight up. So we see it's mathematical. So when you look at angles, you got a 90-degree angle, you know that's going to be upright. So Zadik, Yashar, those are 2 good names that would have the same meaning.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Lashawan Kodash One West, they say Tazadakia. Or
right. I forgot about that.
yeah, but you know, God bless them. God bless their souls. Okay, here's a good one. What language did Christ speak when he was talking to Pontius Pilate? Wow.
Hebrew. Pontius Pilate was the governor of the Judites there in Jerusalem. He had to know the language in order to be the governor there. So
Wow.
clearly he was speaking Hebrew.
Power, 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 power. Okay. How do you say the Holy Spirit?
Holy Spirit is Ruach. with a KH sound. Ruach Ha Kodesh. Okay. Spirit of holiness. Ruach HaKodesh.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
In Revelation, is Revelation 19 and 12 speaking of a new name of the Most High that nobody knows but the Messiah?
I think it's a new name of the Messiah. Let's go
Right.
to it.
Yeah, it's not the Most High. It says the new name.
Yeah, it's a new name of the Messiah for that
Do
one.
you take that literal, like he's gonna reveal to us a new name, or just he's gonna refresh his name so there's no arguments about it anymore?
Well, by that time, our names are basically supposed to be in some way a reflection of what we have been created to do or called to do.
Mm-hmm.
So when we name a thing, like when Adam named all of the creatures, he looked at their nature, right? And then gave them a name. And then even the way a name is spelled based on the letters within that name, you can even derive more of a contextual meaning from the way that name is spelled. Now, Yehoshua means Yah is salvation. But once he has brought salvation, he has then completed that task.
So he
And now,
can change his name
yeah, he's
or
bringing
get
in
a new name, rather.
a new
Okay,
creation. So then we
gotcha.
get new names too. And then he
Right,
said
I
it's
see
going to
that.
be a new heaven and a new earth. So even the way the heaven and the earth is going to be new. He said, "Behold, I make all things new."
Mm-hmm.
So we get new names and we get a new body. We get glorified bodies.
Mm-hmm.
So what we know now is going to be upgraded.
So the biggest One West group, I'm sure you know them. They wear the purple and gold. They
Mm-hmm.
hate when I even use. If I was to wear like a purple and gold, some running shoes, they would be mad. So they my brothers, I love them. I love my brothers, but they really feel like they went to the color some color lawyer and bought the patent for purple, but they use Revelation 19 and 12 to say that um that
Revelation 8.
yeah, the new name, they say that means we won't know the name of the Messiah ever until the kingdom.
Oh no, that's fake. Let's get a scripture for that. They really said that?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to it. All right. We're gonna go to Revelation to disprove that. Let's go to Revelations 3. Revelations 3, for our brothers and sisters that may not know these things. We're gonna go to Revelations 3. We're going to start at 6, Revelations 3 and 6. He that hath an ear, let him hear what the Ruach or the Spirit says unto the assemblies. I see Speak the Truth. You just bless the brother with a cash app. I want to tell all y'all in the chat, give the brother a cash app for what he's doing. The brother's doing good work. I should see a lot more cash apps to Priest Hikah because he's doing some tremendous work. So make sure in the chat y'all hit him up with some cash apps. Okay, the brothers doing some solid work for the kingdom
Hey,
and for the Most
tirelessly.
High
I
and for
think we
you.
put up 4 videos today already.
Hallelujah.
All
All
praises.
praises. So I want to see y'all throw something in this cash app, please. All right. And to the angel of the assembly or the church in Philadelphia, right? These things saith he that is holy, he that is true, he that hath the key of David, he shall open and none shall shut, and he shall shut and none shall open. I know thy works. Behold, I have set before thee an open door, and no man can shut it. For thou hast had a little strength, and hast kept my word, and hast not denied my name. So
Wow.
when you see people saying his name is not important, or that nobody knows his name. If nobody knew his name, then how could we ever deny his name? So
That's a
that,
cut. That's a cut. Cut.
see, behold, I will make them of the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Yehudim and are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee, because thou hast kept the word of my patience. So those who know the name, they got to be patient and wait for the rest of Israel to hear it. So sometimes you might feel like, man, well, everybody's calling on the wrong name, but he said that would happen. Have patience. So he's going to reward the patience who stand on his name, regardless of what other people say, because many will teach to deny his name. That's why he rewards this church or this assembly or this camp, which is Philadelphia, because they have not denied his name, and they have kept his word.
That's right. And it says you got to call on the name. So all I got to say is.
Another thing, some people say his name doesn't matter, right? Or
we got Lambhart in here.
they say he says that. Oh, you in? All right.
What's going on, brother?
He actually put that down with his name. Shalom,
Yeah.
brother.
Shalom, brother. How you doing? Shalom.
Good, man. How are you?
Good. I wasn't trying to stir up anything, man. I appreciate the work you do, my brother. Trust me on that. And the brother over here that's hosting the show. I just have a question on the Hebrew, because I come from the 80s. I come from the One West group once upon a time in the 80s when I was small. I got my Hebrew teacher from a brother named Karal Gabar from way back then. And he taught I don't know. You probably know him, but I don't know. But he was the one that was teaching most of the Hebrew for the Hebrew Israelites at One West back in the 80s, early 90s. I was probably like 11, 10 years old. So the old school Hebrew, which is that Syriac that they always been throwing around, the ancient Lachwan Kodash, they have these symbols underneath the U, and then you have the upside down frown that make it a singular or a plural. And they had booklets of all the words broken down and how you could put these words or into a sentence, which they're now doing now, which you see all over. And then I see all this Hebrew here that you have in front, what they used to call Yiddish Hebrew. But now I'm learning that it's a little more than just Yiddish.
Let me show you something real quick.
Yeah.
Just to you're saying, let's go to the book of Genesis, chapter 26. Okay. Maybe
My name is Daniel for your records, so
okay.
I like the lion heart. The lamb heart. Good one.
Where you from, bro? Where you from?
I'm from Harlem, bro. I'm from 129 Lenox Ave, Harlem. I'm from that group, the One West, Shire, Marsha.
Where your people from, though?
I mean, my father, like originally.
Yeah.
My father from Jamaica, Kingston.
I heard it. I heard it in the accent. You can't shake it, bro.
I tried to, trust me.
You still holding on to the 12 tribes chart?
Kind of, but I don't want to go fully with it. But I have all that stuff that your brother's been talking about from One West. I'm like 46 now.
You need to email me. I need all the elders that was at One West to email me. I already got a 100-round clip, but I need more. Okay. Go ahead.
All right. We're in Genesis 28 for the family, all right?
Yes, sir.
And so Jacob is saying, all right. And Isaac called Jacob and blessed him and charged him and said unto him, Thou shalt not take a wife of the daughters of Canaan. Arise, go to where? You see that?
Yeah.
Can you see it right there?
What does it say? Oh,
Padanaram.
Padanaram, all right? Padam Aram.
They always say this is white man's language, white man's language. We can't go
Right.
into it. I always look into it, and I always like wondering, but it's called Hebrew too. But why is it a white man's language?
Mm-hmm. So they got
So I
the
got,
here.
yeah,
I'm trying to get the Aram. Aram is, let me just type it in. Aram is where we get Aramean from, right?
Aramaic, right? That's what they always say. That was our
Right.
language, and that was
So
what we're
they
supposed to speak.
always say that that is Yiddish, and that those words or those letters is Yiddish and all of this kind of stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Aram or
129. Shalom, brother. I probably know me
Aramean.
too.
So
Yeah.
Aramaic is the Syrian language. So that was always in our history, you know. So arise, go to Padan Aram, and Padan Aram, they were speaking Aramean. To the house of Bethuel, thy mother's father, that's means his grandfather, Jacob's grandfather, and take thee a wife from thence of the daughters of Laban, my mother's brother. And God Almighty bless thee and make thee fruitful and multiply thee that thou mayest be a multitude of people. So we see here that they went, and again, Isaac sent Jacob, and he went to Padan Aram unto Laban, the son of Bethuel, the Syrian. Syrian is right here, the Arami. So this is what Jacob was speaking. See, Jacob spoke Hebrew and Aramean.
Okay.
So they try to they use a lot of misleading language to make people think that the biblical Hebrew script is Yiddish when it's Aramean script. But this is from Genesis. We're in the book of Genesis in the beginning. This is what Jacob was speaking. Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, they all knew this. They knew Hebrew and then they knew Aramean. So when we're using the Aramean script, this is the same thing that our forefathers used and our foremothers. This is where they come from.
Wow.
Hope that answers that.
No, it's great work, bro. Because coming from Harlem, people don't really look into things. And back in the 89, there was no computers like that to break those
I
things down,
I
stuff.
went
So
to
they was always assuming white man. White man is the one that reads that. That's white man's language, and done. And that's
I,
it.
I went to the school on One West several times, and you know I seen some of the elders there teach and stuff, and then I would see certain things like this that was inconsistent, and I said, man, they got a lot of truth here, but I see certain things that they're standing on is not right. But that's okay if it's not right.
Okay. Yeah. Respect.
But
Still
then they
respect
start
them.
becoming like agitated or like aggressive or
Right. Yeah.
belligerent
Exactly.
or proud, I should say, maybe, in the things that they clearly had wrong. And the language is one of those things for me. When I saw it, I'm like, they wrong on this language. What are they talking about? You
Mm.
know,
What year was that? Did you go
that
up
was in
there?
the '90s when I went. Like I
Yeah.
said,
Okay.
I have two
90s. Yeah.
uncles
Yeah.
that were captains there. And one became a bishop there when with the ICJGC. No, they both became bishops. That was under Tazadakia. They went
Definitely.
that side, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and split up. So they stayed with that crew of Hebrews, and they had rank in there, you know. So they used to bring me to the school several times in Harlem, and I got to see certain things. And another thing that I saw was like um it was on a Shabbat when I went a couple Friday nights, and then I'm going there and I'm seeing them selling oil and selling stuff like,
Yeah. That's them.
what the heck is this? Like,
Hey,
That's them.
listen.
That's the group.
ISUPK does that to this day. Captain
what?
Tazariak, General Yohanan, they do
That's
that
them.
to this day. They will set up a booth and sell on their
Yeah.
Sabbath to
Yeah.
this day. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
To this day. To this day. Still the same. Yeah.
When you guys went to the school, because I'm putting together a part 2 for my documentary on One West. When you guys went to the school, do you remember seeing any like Latino brothers that are like lighter yellow, light skin? Because I have proof that REI started off Negro only.
I don't remember seeing that when I went. I remember, not to say that it didn't, because I've only been there several times, so I wasn't like a regular. But I don't really remember seeing that when I went there.
Okay, yeah.
My father,
I mean, I got it out of his own mouth anyway, but I just wanted more evidence.
yeah, and plus my father, he left the group because of what he was seeing too. It was things that One West wasn't on point about, and my father left the group too and came over with a group called the Camp of Fire. He was high priest of it, High Priest Abba Yamalak. I don't know if you ever heard of him.
Say that again, brother. Say that slow. What the?
High Priest Abba Yamalak. He had
Abba
the camp Abba
Okay.
Yamalak. Yeah, he had a camp called the Camp of Fire in Harlem.
May
He left.
be Abimelech, Abba Yamalak. I'm like, what?
Yeah,
What I think that's Abimelech. They be chopping up some names.
that's the name that they gave him. Yeah, because it was supposed to mean fathers of kings, which means
Right.
his real name is Basil, but they gave him the name Fathers of King, which means Abba Yamalak. And then from there, he became the high priest, Abba Yamalak, for the temple in Harlem called Camp of Fire. He separated himself from the One West group because of things that they were doing, the teaching they were teaching. The stuff they were teaching wasn't correct, most of it. And so when he started doing the research on his own, like yourself and these brothers here, he started finding the same information like these brothers here, Priest Hassad and Hakad. And they kind of turned against him too and started putting curses out. And so the stuff that these brothers and the language, all this is on money. And I appreciate that you looked into it a little deeper, because my father also saw a few things that wasn't cool. And that's why I still stick with these brothers, even though they call me Lamb's Heart. I still stick with them. I like what they teach, and they're teaching correctly and bringing the Hebrew in and showing that this language, this Yiddish, is not really for white men. It's really our language. It's good, and it's going to be bad for some. Because they're not going to really okay it.
I was talking to because my uncles, they wound up leaving, where they was at, the ICJGC, or at least one of them did, before all that stuff happened. And of course it turned to chaos. And he was around from like the early 90s in the school there. And we was chopping it up a couple weeks ago, and he told me that when Taza Doc came up and he started getting ranking the IUC, it was what was it before ISUPK?
ISUPK.
No,
yeah, but it had a slightly different name at the time.
Israeli
School of Israeli with the I. Yes.
Yeah, Israeli Church.
Israeli Church of Black something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he said,
yeah.
Back in the day, like when it was One West, they used to just like kind of like what Hakad does. Like he said, used to have a lot of scholarship and a lot of research, and then people going into books and to bring out things from, that would just
a lot of that.
a lot of history, right?
Yeah.
And then when Taza Doc came in and people they started moving away from that. And then he said the camp started getting like dumb. This is my uncle, like, who been here since, 30 something years, right? And he said they stopped the scholarship. And then it was all about what they could do to get money. And and then of course they had the split, but his side went with the ICJGC. And then there was other camps and all that other kind of stuff. But he said, it wasn't like that before. It was a lot of scholarship that they used to go into. And they started dumbing the people down.
Right.
Dumbing down things to make people, like when Taza Doc started coming into power, he said that these things started to change. So that was really interesting.
I remember a guy named Shia. I don't know if you know him, Shia. He was one of the top men at One West.
Mm-hmm.
He was
Yeshaya used to teach with Ariel all the time.
right, curly hair guy. He
Yeah.
always had his hair curls. He drove a nice car with his name printed on it back in those days. He was like the man. But it wasn't really all that. But yeah.
Well, we appreciate you, brother. You're welcome
I'll let
on
y'all
all
go.
the time.
Yeah.
You showed a lion's heart today. I'll tell you that.
Can I ask you one last thing?
Here we go. He's
No,
trying to
no.
leave. He's trying to go out with a bang.
No, with the Hebrew, because I'm
Okay, go
learning
ahead.
this.
Go ahead.
I'm sorry, no disrespect. Could you, brother, explain those dots in it? See, I understand the U and all that. Now that you're showing me this Hebrew, and I really appreciate this, man, brother.
Mhm.
How do you? What's those dots underneath? How do you use those dots? Like to
Under this word here?
yeah, you got those two dots. You got one dot under those dots. No, that was something that always bothered me. I mean, not bothered. Didn't understand.
Okay, I'm gonna pull it up for you.
And I'm off your line, bro. I want to go home.
Yeah, they're called Niku Judah the Shooter. Got that. They they indicate the 7 different types of vowels that's shown in the menorah. I don't know why this thing don't want to pull up the picture I just took. Why is it saying loading like this? Let me try again. All right. I'll do it this way. I'll just write it down. Hey, what's up, man? Oh, man. Hey, do you got a few minutes to hop on a live and talk about your experience in One West? You can be on camera if you want, or you don't have to be on camera. It's up to you. You don't mind? Okay. I'm gonna send you a link. Okay, man. All right. Yeah, you got a minute, Hakai?
Yeah, I want to listen. I want to know if my archive. I got so much stuff in the archives.
Yeah, I got a lot of stuff in the archives.
About to get live.
I got so much stuff in the archives. All praises.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
I'm gonna bring some people in, man, that been there and know what it is. You know, okay.
So he's gonna send him that link, and then we're gonna talk about the diacritic marks. Those dots you see are diacritic marks, and it's just a way of showing you when vowels are used and how you say a certain character a different way, and all of that. So they weren't in the ancient script, but they were placed there so that you really to help us today who would lose our identity, and it would preserve the pronunciation. But how do we know that the way we're pronouncing it is correct? Because we have transliterations of other languages that prove our pronunciation that we subscribe to.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay. My thing done froze. Okay, that's probably, I don't know what's going on. Let me try to reopen that again.
Y'all hit the like button. We're about to get a good One West testimony. We're
Oh,
about to
yeah.
get a good One West testimony here in a second. Trying to go back to the 80s, trying to hop in the hot tub time machine.
Yeah, bro.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
You want to get some testimony here. And at the time when I was going, I was Torah only, but I was starting to believe that there must be a Messiah. And my uncle, when I got to that point, my uncle would say, well, come with me to the school. And then I would go to the school and I would go to hear some things and test the spirit. And it was a lot of things that resonated, and it was certain things that didn't. But he know much more of what it was like, because like he know all the elders there. He been there since forever. And he first started going there at the time, I think he was 14 or 15.
Yeah. Same.
So he
Yeah.
like, yeah.
14, 15. Yeah.
Yeah, he
That's
was
how
there
it
since
is.
14 or 15,
Yeah.
So yeah, he's gonna hop on in a second. He said he's going to set up right now. So in the meantime, yeah, Hakai, it's about to get live. We're about to get.
It's all the way live.
All right.
Little-
That is too big. Let me do this again.
Brother Chauncey in the building. Shalom, shalom, Mishpachah.
Shalom. All right. This highlighted in yellow. Okay. That is an ah vowel, like ah. But when it has this, when it has these two dots next to it, that means it's very short. It just means go
Oh, okay.
Mm-hmm. This is a this is like this is this right here is a long right? That's with the dot under it. This is a short and this is like, and this one here is like very, very short. So those two dots next to it is telling you very short. So the purpose of that, like I had my good brother Barawak, I hope he don't mind if I use his name. We had brother, because he was asking about his name in the Hebrew class, Barawak, which is really supposed to be Baruch. But he said when he was going to, and I hope brother don't mind if I share his testimony. I don't think he'll mind, but he'll let me know, because I don't want to just use people's name unless it's edifying to Yah and the people. But he changed his name, right? And it was kind of hard for people to pronounce his name, Barawak, right? So I said, yeah, the real way to pronounce it is Baruch. And then we was talking about the vowels in the Hebrew class. And I said, it would have been even better if people understood the vowels in One West, because then at least if you had a very short ah and a very short ah there, and then a long ah at the end, they would say Barawak. And that's a lot easier to say than Barawak. So when all the ah sounds are exactly the same length, like Lashawan Kwadash teaches, everything is ah. Sometimes in order to
Yeah.
break up sounds, you have to have a Barawak. That would be easier to pronounce than Barawak. Or what was the Abimelech? You said Abba Yah.
Yeah. Abba, Yah. It's AHBA, AYA, Yah, Ma, MA, Lak, LAK.
Abba Yamalak.
Abba, Yamala. It's AH.
A-H. Where at?
In the beginning, where it said the A, it'll be A,
Oh, okay.
A,
Oh, okay.
A. That's how they, yeah, it was written, yeah.
Okay.
AH, yeah. Sorry.
Okay.
Which represent the A.
I think your people was in the back.
Okay. Oh, bring him in, man.
But he clicked off. You want to hit him up and make sure he's good?
Okay.
Okay, here he is. Here he is.
All right, cool.
All right.
Hey, what's up, Aaron?
What's good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you not loud and clear. This is my uncle Aaron, and he was in the truth for what, like 30-some years?
Yeah, 15. From the age of 15 to the age of 43.
OG from, One West. You know all the elders from back in the day.
Absolutely. I mean, I came up when I came in. My older brother, Zub or Yashar, French Yashar, whatever, was in the church, and he's the one who introduced me to One West, and that was when, right before they did that first major separation between the House of David and One West, ICTJC. Or actually, at that time, it was Israelite Church of Universal and Practical Knowledge.
What year? What year was that?
Shit, don't get. I'm terrible with years, so let's see. 87. That'd have been like 1990-ish, 1991, maybe. Yeah, if it wasn't 90, it was 91 or something like that. I know I was in high school, and it was my it was my sophomore year of high school. So that would have been like 91, right around 91.
And I was up until 43, but you not 43 now. You like
I'm
older than
49.
me. So you 49 now, right?
Yeah.
So that's how long ago that was that he was there, you know. Yeah, tell him. You know.
So when you were there, you did you see any Latino brothers like when I say Latino, like the ones who are lighter?
Yeah, a lot.
Okay.
Yeah, some of my closest friends. I mean, I still have friends that that left that church now that I mean, technically could pass if they didn't say nothing.
Mm-hmm. Because what I have, I got both of Aria's. I got some ancient One West documents, and I have some videos, and I have him teaching the 12 tribe chart being all Negroes.
Wow.
Yeah, the 12 tribes chart was updated. I mean, years ago. I don't think it's been touched very much since the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
But if it's prior to say 1990 or something like that, definitely. But anything after 1990 hasn't changed very much.
Right. Okay.
So y'all still have that. They still have that old chart, 12 tribe chart that's put together in plexiglass with the orange and blue. A real pretty setup. It was set up with all the 12 tribes and where they come from.
Yeah, I
It's
mean that
still
was,
there on the wall.
as far as I know. I mean, as far as I know, you're going back to 2000, whenever COVID was. So
Was you there with the white boy Rocky?
the white boy Rocky.
There was a white boy who was in the school. They called him Cornelius.
Nah, I don't know who that is.
Yeah, that's probably, that might be the 80s. But there was a white boy when they taught that Cornelius was an Edomite, so they had this white boy in there called Rocky Stone.
Yeah, I mean that could have been I was born in December of '76. So I don't know nothing about 1976, anything like that. If it's some old crap, I don't know anything about that. I'm familiar with stuff from around 91, 92 on.
Mm-hmm. And you heard that, or it was in fact Ariyah who created the Lashuan Kodash.
Nobody in there ever gave him credit for creating it. But they had several men who, I guess came together and agreed on, I guess, the diction and the pronunciation of the characters and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Did they ever tell you he was High Priest Joshua from Zechariah 3?
That would have been early on, but what had changed right around the time that Tazadakia took over was that they would just they were treated as like forever chief high priests or apostles. So it changed from chief high priests to apostles to holy apostles.
Yeah, it's true too.
Mm-hmm.
Started calling himself King David.
Yeah.
Themselves, actually King David themselves on earth.
Well, that was
back in the
right
80s
there,
too.
Yeah, and that switched.
Yeah, that's all.
That ended with ICJC. That ended around when Yeshaya took over. So that would have ended right around 1992, 93.
Right, exactly. Yeah, that's when my father left the group back then. He left. Yeah, you ever heard of the group called House of Fire? A Camp of Fire on the group on 125th in Harlem.
So,
There was a group
um,
on the street that was not for. I was not with One West, but they were
yeah,
like
I
the
mean,
main group out there.
with the spikes all on their wrist and all the crap.
Exactly, and the four and the 4x4 sticks and stuff.
Yeah,
They used
yeah,
to
yeah.
carry. They used to axe handles. Yeah, it was serious out there.
Yeah, yeah. They were like, I don't know, they were like barbarians or something. But yeah, that again, if you going back to like the
Hey man, it had to be rough, bro.
88,
Come on.
99, 88,
It had to be rough.
89. Yeah, that's I don't know what happened with that.
Yeah, I know. That was my group I was part of. That was my
Oh,
father's
okay.
group.
Oh, okay. All right. There you go.
What was the
Barbaric, man. Come on, bro. We had to be rough
so?
back then, man. Those brothers weren't playing. We had to take on the cops, the Muslims, and One West.
Yeah,
And they
no,
weren't
that
they
was
wanted to
crazy.
fight.
Yeah, that
Gee,
was
we had to bring our axe handles. It's very serious. They didn't like what we were teaching.
so. I got two questions. Did they make you teach that Jesus Christ was coming back before the year 2000? And
Yeah.
when it didn't happen, what was the excuse?
Yeah, that was the teaching.
So as we approached 2000, you had Yeshaya and people like that were kind of hedging a bit, and so they blamed that on. Let me try to remember correctly because that's a long time ago. Um, I think they blamed that on the House of David and said that came from that doctrine, and that RER was influenced somehow by that. But yeah, at that time, pretty much every fringe religion was kind of teaching that 2000 meant something crazy was
Yeah.
gonna happen.
So a lot of brothers gave up a lot of stuff before 2000, man. That was the
Yeah, they
thing.
was even pushing it on the news with the the
Yeah,
the, uh, the,
it
the
was the
millennium
thing. Yeah.
virus or something like that. Right?
Yeah.
They said the
Most
millennium
of the brothers.
virus that was supposed to shut down computers and blah blah blah.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
Yeah.
it wasn't just them, but
No,
they
it was
so
my group too.
yeah. Yeah,
Shit.
cats making songs about it. All that. Prince, Busta Rhymes, mad people was making songs about, the year 2000 where they were
Party
looking
like
for
99.
a reset. Now they're saying reset, right? Now they're
What we
talking
said.
about 2030
Yeah.
or whatever. When the reset probably already started during COVID. So I mean,
Okay. So as far as the language goes, or the reincarnation, actually, did they make you guys take a vow? Because I heard from the Apostle Tahar and the Apostle Gabar that you guys had to swear an oath that Masha was King David.
I was
that
our
that
group
wasn't
back there.
that wasn't a part of ISUPK.
Ain't part of
That
the
that was one of the reasons for the split.
Oh yeah, you're right.
that's
You're right.
another reason why my father left too. Said, no,
You're
man, we
right.
ain't gonna praise no man.
You're
No
right.
praise.
You're right. You're right.
Yeah,
I'm out of here. That's crazy.
Yeshaya, Arya,
Aria, Lashaya, Yaiqua, not Yaiqua,
La,
Shai,
Lahab.
Lahab.
they that was one of the reasons why there was a
Yeah,
split. I mean, there was
yeah,
actual fights over that.
yeah. Literally,
Um,
real fight. My father fought there too, man. Real fight. He had to hit a few brothers over there. Literally.
so yeah, I mean,
Some people died there too. Got killed.
yeah,
Yeah,
maybe I don't know
straight up.
about that. I was a little young, so
Oh yeah, it was real, man. It was
Hey,
you
real
got to
tough.
tell me
listen.
Yeah, it
none
was
of
real
that. I don't
gangsters
have
over
no.
there.
I have
Real
zero
gangsters.
knowledge of that.
He does not need the 12. Let's not bring 12 in this.
Mm.
But
Yeah, nothing to
but
do with that. That's serious. Like I have no knowledge of that. I know some people got doors open with their head. I seen that myself with
No, no,
my
no,
own
no.
eyes. But some people got. I seen some people get dragged down steps, thrown
Yeah,
out doors. I seen that.
yeah, yeah. A lot
yeah,
of
I
that.
heard about that. I heard about that. Okay.
Oh,
So
go ahead.
so my last question would be, what all do you know about Abba Bivin?
So Albert Bivens was treated as a the prophet and the progenitor of what we now call the Israelite Church of God in Jesus Christ. Obviously, it was, I forgot what it was called at first, but then it was ISUPK. It had a few different iterations that are before my time. And even though I was there at that time, I was so young, I wouldn't have been privy to what the leadership was doing. But obviously, he's the one who pretty much in Harlem taught anybody and everybody that calls themselves an Israelite. He is or was the beginning or the progenitor of bringing that information back. They actually had a whole breakdown. I've forgotten it now. Where, I don't want to misquote what it was, but basically, that he was the prophet of our time that started bringing us back to the understanding that Black people were, in fact, the Jews of the Bible.
Mm-hmm. I heard him. I heard a few speeches, and because I've been learning the faith and accepting it since 2008. So, but I never really cared so much about the history. But now I have to prove to One West that their foundation has false doctrine and false prophets. So now, if you utilize the Lashwan Kodash, if you utilize the 12 tribe chart, and if you utilize Israelite only salvation, then that is exclusively to Ariah and One West. That's your foundation. And so if you stand on that foundation, you stand on a foundation of false prophets, you stand on a foundation of false doctrine. And so if the root is wicked, if the tree is wicked, then the fruit that it bears is going to be wicked. And all we ever heard of was the elders fighting against each other and hating each other. And guess what we see in the camps today? All the camps fighting each other and hating each other. Why? Because it's that same wicked tree bearing that same wicked fruit.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're right.
Yeah, the problem is going to always be with the men. It's not with the word.
Yeah, for sure.
Sure.
I ain't got nothing to say about the biblical text, but the way it's being mishandled. You take a screwdriver, you can fix your table, or you can take a screwdriver and kill somebody, and that's what One West is doing.
Yeah, I mean, it's all of them. It's the purple shirt guys. Again, another One West dude, the police officer.
That's a good question. So Bishop Nathaniel, his name was Nathaniel Alaga.
As far as I remember.
Yeah,
I didn't know him, but I know that was his name. In there. There was a few police officers that were a part of ICTJC or ISUPK, because that's what he was a part of. That were from they were New York City police officers or from upstate, Rochester, stuff like that.
Yeah,
I don't think he was New York City. I think for some reason I remember him being like upstate or whatever. Again, I didn't know him personally, but I don't know, for some reason that's registering in my mind, but don't quote me on that. But I know he was either trooper or something with the police.
Well, all praise to the Most High. I'm gonna send you, JDI. I did that documentary. You should send it to. Matter of fact, let me play something for you real quick. Right, I'm just gonna play the intro for him. Let me play the intro for him, and you're gonna enjoy this. Watch this. Okay, let's go here. Here, I'm just gonna play the intro for him real quick. Okay, watch this. I'm gonna share my screen. I did a documentary part 1. Check it out. Let's listen to it.
Everybody should take the vaccine.
I'm Apostle and Chief High Priest Tazadakia, the God sent comforter of the nation of Israel.
So yes, biblically, I sit in that seat that Peter sat in before. Now,
Rock cannot fight him. Chris Rock cannot. What Chris Rock can do? Chris Rock can fight.
He knew that Moses had left the truth
John was not in the truth because he was not.
That's going to take place before the year 2000. That's right. America has less than 628 days.
But with that being said, man, I just want to elaborate on the R. Kelly situation, man. Get him. Hey, man, he was in the right mind state. He got young women. He kept them in the house straightly, and he dealt with them, man, and he took care of them. That was righteous.
And those of you brothers that can't get women, you got another alternative. You got prostitutes. You pay your money and do what you got to do. Keep it moving.
But when that time comes, 12-year-old girls are ugly. 11 years.
That is some crazy stuff, bro. So I know I said two more things. I seen King Marshall teaching the grape doctrine. Now we see GMS teaching the grape doctrine. So I want to know, was that a common thing that back then they were teaching the grape doctrine? And then this new ISUPK thing, is it new when they say Moses and John the Baptist was not in the truth? Are those new concepts, or did you hear that back then during your time?
That was never. That part is new. That was never pushed in the ICGJC. And as far as when you say grape, what grape of who?
Grape of women. But these guys are saying a woman turns a woman as soon as she has her period. So it could be 11, 12 years old.
So I mean, no, that was never pushed. What was taught in ICGJC is that you follow the laws of the land that you're in. You don't
right.
Now whether or not, if somebody decided not follow that, that's one thing. But if not, that wasn't taught. That wasn't taught in there that's what you do now. What we do know is that depending on where you're at and what time period, your sensibilities could be one way, but if the society's sensibilities are another way, then you follow whatever the laws are. Here in the States, I think 17 is like universal, and then some places it's 18, and then some places it's 16. I guess it depends on what part of the country you're in. Nevertheless, the doctrine that was taught in ICGJC was 18. If you're a man, if you're gonna deal with a woman, it's 18 or older. I never heard in 28 years or whatever, 30 years, whatever it was, that hey man, we go bag you a 12-year-old. I never heard of that.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I never heard of that. Now if there was a nigga that did that, that's on that dude.
That's on him. That dude. I won't be surprised if I have a few that's like that too in the group.
I wasn't just a student. I mean, I taught whole churches too. I mean, and that was never part of any approved teaching. So one thing that I know a lot of people do is they throw out the baby with the bathwater. So you had people who were off, but that don't mean a lot of the congregants are sincere. Like they're trying to be believers. You know what I mean? They get taken advantage of by predators. People who are preying on what they can get up out of them. I don't harbor no hard feelings towards like the congregation, quote unquote. It's the people that were they get some power, man, and they start doing things that are not that are just off. It just, I guess, that's all. That's really what I see.
The same thing we're seeing today.
Yeah.
Well, we appreciate you. We appreciate you, and we appreciate everybody on the panel, Brother Jedediah,
right,
and the chat. We are at 2 and we are past our hour, our time. So I'm just going to close it out right here and say thank you to our guests on the panel. We done made a One West segment off of this.
Yeah.
So all praise to you guys. And we're going to end this by giving all praise to the Most High and say shalom to everybody. Hit that like button on the way out.
All right.
All right.